its offices in Mumbai, we flew into the hub of technology in Gurgaon outside Delhi. Here at the Microsoft office headquarters, innovation is a primary objective. The global firm has invested about $7 billion in innovation since the last slowdown of 2008. This time round, Bhaskar Pramanik, the India CEO, is focusing on using innovating technology to improve India's social indicators. Microsoft is focusing on building tech for education and social welfare. Microsoft says technology is key to reforming government processes and adds to transparency.
Bhaskar, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
I've been hearing that you're a die-hard optimist and you'd like to be that on my show, but I'd be curious to know why, when the economy is under pressure and there's a global crisis, what makes you optimistic?
So one of the things I learned many years ago is that you manage what you can and you don't manage what you can't. So, there's many things which I can do to, handle growth, to make sure that Microsoft grows and that we can serve our customers well, and I'd like to focus on that.
But what's the feedback from customers in an environment like this? Are they getting edgy with the state of affairs? Do you think sometimes it becomes harder for people to increase budgets or keep up with the budgets? What is the feedback you're getting?
So you're absolutely correct. I think everybody is looking at how much of what resources they have, and they're trying to invest on that wisely.
Right.
And I think that gives us an opportunity to look at the products, the solutions, the services, the technologies which we have and offer it to them so that they can actually get a better ROI. Just to give you an example, some of the solutions which we have around unified communication have helped one of our customers, Kirloskar IT in Pune, to be able to save on their communications and travel costs.
Right.
They've reduced their travel costs by about 15%, that's their expectations, and the communication costs by about nearly 35%.
Does it put pressure on companies like Microsoft to increase innovation investment, both research, development, at times like these?
So, not true, because I think, as a company, we have to constantly invest in innovation, and that's what we do. So whether it is good times or bad times, we've constantly made sure that we've invested wisely on innovation. So look at the last couple of years, from 2008 onwards, we've actually invested much more. Today, we're investing close to about $7 billion a year just on innovation, on making sure we have the next set of products and technology.
So use the slowdown to your favor?
Absolutely. So to me, the slowdown is an opportunity to gain market share. And I can tell you that if you look at what we are going to be introducing into the marketplace over the next 12 to 18 months, it's tremendous because we invested in the bad times.
I see.
And we're going to see the fruits of that labor over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. I think the opportunity for using innovation in a developing country like India is huge. And don't forget the fact that in India we actually have two countries. We have the developed and we have the developing. So we are seeing huge companies like Infosys, the Wipros, the large automobile manufacturers, you see the large public sector banks, you see the large financial institutions all investing heavily on our products and solutions. But at the same time, you think about the opportunities which we have to look at the other parts of India which are developing. And we're making some huge investments in those areas around education with Project Shiksha. We believe very clearly that one of the ways which we can contribute to any country which we are in is in areas like, for example, digital literacy.
The opportunity seems large, but implementation of most of that innovation is much harder in an economy where it's a rural fabric, where there's still much less penetration of whether it's computer literacy or literacy in general.
I think you've got a point there, because a lot of the new technologies which we are introducing does expect connectivity and great connectivity. But we found ways of ensuring that we can still adapt those technologies even to a country like India or in rural areas where the connectivity is weak. The good news is now with the mobile phones, a lot of what you couldn't do before, you can do now. Yeah. So in areas like education or the areas like financial inclusion, the mobile phone is going to play a much more important role. So I think the genius of India is the fact that you can take global technologies, global innovation and adapt it for the Indian situation. So I think there is still scope for a lot more scope for that in India.
You know, the macro picture has most CEOs in India saying, let's get more reform on track. Do you think technology could play a critical role in getting the reform process in India kick-started, or perhaps speed it up a bit?
Well, I think we need a lot of reform so that we can get more of our technology into play in India. So I think, you know, technology can play a role in terms of helping kickstart the economy from a growth perspective. I think that's really where technology can play a bigger role.
Has India somehow missed the bus on creating a larger IT infrastructure for its own self? Do you think, for example, today if we reform the government processes using technology, we may be miles ahead than where we are today?
I think the government has made some huge, investments, and they've made some huge progress in improving transparency in terms of, and also in terms of e-governance. And some of the applications of technology which the various central or state governments have done over the last so many years, I think are examples of what other developing countries can also use. I'll give you a good example. Cloud technologies, that's the buzzword.
Yes.
And even in the advanced countries, they're having a tough challenge in trying to figure out how they can use the cloud technology in terms of e-governance. And here in India, we have a very live example where the state of Jammu and Kashmir, for their forest department, actually runs an application which actually resides in the Madhya Pradesh state government data center.
So it's already in play in many ways.
So it's already in play. They're already using it.
Yeah.
And it's a great example of how we've taken actually a leapfrog in that. Now, it's not widespread.
We have a problem of scaling it up. Is that our biggest challenge here in India? Could we use some of this relatively lull period to actually bolster that?
We have to apply technology wisely. And we have to apply technology in all its different facets in different areas.
Including the Indian innovation story.
Including the Indian innovation story. And the fact that we are going to have a much more youthful population. How do we harness that, that human capital?
Right.
And I think the way to do that is through education. It's through skilling. It's, vocation skills. How can we empower women, especially in rural areas?
And make use of their own skill in industrial
yeah, exactly.
functions.
Make them independent.
Yes.
Because that's also, it's a huge talent which is, which is available to us.
Right.
How can we harness it in governments? How can we use it for people who are physically challenged or visually challenged? How can we give them better accessibility?
So we seem to have a huge pool of resources. We just need to get them back on track. That's really the key takeaway from what Bhaskar has said. Innovation is there to stay, but really we need to put it to use to see how we can put it to the best form in a country like India.